So over the last couple of weeks we've been doing some filming, and we've done some over here at the Art Centre. We've also done some down here behind Flinders Street where a mate of mine Robin stayed for a while. Last night we were actually filming up over the back here at the G, or just near the G anyway, and we had a bit of a scene going on, and it's actually, we filmed what's going to be the end scene of the production. So we had a guy carrying a swag, and he's walked up over the hill and then headed down, and we set up the swag in amongst the trees. And it was we had a bit of rain, and that brings up actually the subject of this week's episode. What I've been doing is we've been preparing over the last few weeks for filming in the rain, and you may remember that I got the waterproof radios and threw one in the spa to make sure it was waterproof, and that worked, and that radio still works. We've also had some other gear. One of my other little cameras is waterproof, as I've shown people. But I made this little cover up using a fairly large Ziploc bag and put it over my main camera, which is worth a couple of grand. And about a week and a half ago we had a bit of rain. I thought this would be a nice test for it, and it actually got a bit heavier than I was expecting. So I just thought, so here's that video, and have a look at that, and it'll give you some ideas of how you don't need to spend lots on protecting your gear. You just got to make sure it's all sealed up pretty good. Still got full movement possible. Probably wouldn't want to point it up in the air too much, but doing all the things I needed to do, and still working without a problem in there. So this is a really good test. Hey guys, Trevor here. As you can see by those videos, the rain cover that I made up for my camera worked really good. I was really surprised. What I was concerned about was that while it was running, I thought that maybe there'd be a bit of condensation in there, because the camera, I thought would get a bit warm, but it didn't. So I've been able to use this a couple of times, and I think this really demonstrates that sometimes you don't have to spend lots of money. Obviously, I'm not saying that if you've got the cash you shouldn't go and spend money on a good rain cover. I certainly would if I had more dollars. But the Ziploc bag option will certainly get me out of trouble. And we've the other night when we were filming, we had a bit of a sprinkle of rain, and I actually put the cover on, and that's what it's about. It's just about making sure that you keep your equipment dry, because I can't afford to be buying a new camera next week or the week after, so I've got to look after the one I've got. So this that basically brings us round. This episode's going to be a bit shorter, but the other thing I wanted to say is I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that's gone through and looked at last week's Bendigo Street special. That's been my most popular episode since I've started these things, and the numbers have been quite a jump up from what the previous numbers. The other thing you might notice is that the audio's changed a little bit with this episode, especially the back end of it, but and also at the start where I was standing on the bridge over the Yarra River. I've recently been able to get some new equipment. I've had some grant money come through and been able to access some professional development funding, which is awesome. And I'm still waiting on a few bits of equipment to come in. As I mentioned, or as I put a title up in the opening, I need a light. So I've got a little LED light coming. It's a Victrox LL162 something or other, which is variable brightness and all of that sort of thing. I'm fairly confident I'll have that by the end of next week, and if not that, then the week after. I've got a couple other bits and pieces, a few bits and pieces coming, and what I'm hoping to do, I don't think it'll be next week, but maybe the week after, is I'll run through all the equipment that I've been able to put together and where I'm at the moment. And that's just not about bragging, oh look, I've got some equipment. It's about just showing, giving people an idea of, if you're looking at doing this sort of thing, and I urge anyone who wants to get into video production, it's an exciting job, and you just got to be able to do it right, and you've got to have the right equipment. And certainly my brand new Canon camera's been working great. It's an XA30, and it works really nice. The shotgun mic that I've got mounted on top is a Rode NTG 4 Plus, which is an awesome bit of kit. It's got built-in lithium battery, get about 150 hours out of a charge, which has got to be more than enough. But I've also got some other tricked up audio gear that I've got, and it's going to be helpful in times like this. Works good with a shotgun mic, but there might be times like recently I was at a conference and we had a panel of people, and I would have liked to have had some other audio options. I've now got them. So hopefully in next week or the week after, I'll be able to run through all of that and just give you an idea of where I'm at and what I've put together. In the meantime though, now that normally I use a lapel mic up in here, and it scratches, and when I turn, the volume changes and does different things, and that's a bit of a, that just shows you when you're using a lapel mic, it can be, there are perils attached to it. They're a useful device, but it doesn't work for all scenes. And one of the things I've got coming is a extension boom pole, so I'll be able to mount my shotgun mic on the end of that, and we'll be able to use that. I've got a film scene planned for in 2 weeks' time, and as long as all that equipment comes in, I'll be able to use that on that night, so that's going to be really good. In terms of the project, and remember these videos initially were about our preparations, and ultimately that's what they're about at the moment. We got basically our conclusion to the film filmed the other night, so we've got our end scenes put together. Hopefully next week we're going to do the opening scene, which is going to be an early morning thing, and then we've got a night scene. Hopefully it's going to be a bit wet. If it's not, well, we'll just take it as it is, with an interview with some people from Launch Housing that have got an exciting Rough Sleepers initiative, where they go out and they actually check on the homeless, and they provide all sorts of support, and they're doing a really good job. So I'm going to be chatting to one of the managers from there, and and that'll bring basically all the filming to an end. The thing I do want to tell people, I've had a few people ask me what's going to happen, is even once we finish completed filming, we're going to be into post-production, and we're going to be editing and playing around. These videos are going to continue. I intend to change the title, and I'll create a new playlist, and we're going to continue to look at the issues confronting the homeless. So I've got a couple of mates who are keen to be involved, and so we'll be able to play around. Now I've got my own gear, and of course I've got my public liability insurance in place. It really frees me up to go and take the gear, go places, and that's what we're going to do. So hopefully these videos will they'll change and morph, and I'm going to be talking to some musicians. I'm going to try and get one of them to throw a bit of a soundtrack together, so hopefully we can have some music at the start of the opening of the episodes or something like that. Until then, that's it guys, and again, thanks for making last week's Bendigo Street special my most popular one yet. It's been awesome. And today's actually Father's Day, so I hope all the fathers out there have had a great day, and I'm actually going to go lay in the spa. That's my reward for I've had a fairly tough couple of weeks, so I'm going to do that. Cheers guys.